Alright, y'all. Disney D Prince here. Just gonna talk a little bit about these golden 20th anniversary figs. As you can see, I mean, there's a lot of detailing in these. I don't know if they're meant to look like statues, why Lego decided to do that. I mean, it gives me like the Statue of Merlin feelings from the Advent calendar from 2 years ago. But I mean, it's got this 20 years Lego Harry Potter in the back, which is kind of cool. If you buy the whole series, you get all the figures. So I'll keep these off to the back in my reviews, so that way you know where we are as far as the series goes. This is the first one that I wanted to talk about because this is the one I was most excited about, because I was a little disappointed in the new sets when there was not a bathroom, especially since they did release Moaning Myrtle in the collectible miniseries. So I was like, well, where is the bathroom to put her? Because the only bathroom that we have in any of the newer sets is the prefect's bathroom with the tub. And I was like, we need another bathroom. Now this is a nice little Hermione in the Slytherin robes when she's supposed to be Millicent Bulstrode. But the real highlight of this is that you take her hair off and put Cat Hermione on there. Now, she is not a cat girl, and I love that they kind of made this a whole headpiece, because if they just made it this ears and hair, it would have been it would have been great. But it's a pretty detailed headpiece, which is kind of nice. I could have appreciated a little more molding on the front, make her more like a werecat, but it's still fun. And she's supposed to have an empty cup, I think, somewhere in here. So, cute little potion cup. Those are fun. Stick that in her hand. This is her oh no, oh no, oh no moment. But yeah, okay. Now we've got quick little builds that are supposed to go in like the just in like the front of the build. Little potions, because who doesn't love a good potion, right? And now we're going to get into the meat of the build, which is the actual building. Now, this series is not entirely the same as the last one as far as how it connects, I'm noticing. But I'm just gonna hope that it's close enough, because they did intend for us to connect it to the past Hogwarts series, and I think once I finish building all of these, I will show you guys my Harry Potter Lego table. But that's if I can find the space to display everything, because right now it is kind of a lot going on my table right now. Like, I still haven't really found room for the burrow that I put together. But so, I mean, we've got our basic flooring already, and I'm assuming this is where the sinks are going to go, because we do have a little hole that they can drop down into. But, oh yeah. See, we're getting more of a floor that's built together, and then they are going to give us little drains to put together. Now, I am just going to talk during these videos, because I'm going to speed them up for TikTok, and then I'll also do a time-lapse build and post it here. But this is for if you just want kind of a calming, slow build, you know, just something to be kind of monotonous. You know, everybody's gonna find their way to the end of this eventually. But see, yeah, I've got butterfingers. I drop things all the time. Like, there may come a time today where I have to just talk from the floor as I try to find a piece that ran away from me. See, we're getting more of the sink outline now, which is nice. I mean, this is already shaping up to be a really just nice build. I mean, it's smaller than I expected, but it's still a good-sized bathroom. So we do have our first connection here, which I like. I mean, that does show that it's going to be attachable to the other rooms. The only thing I have noticed is that stacking has come back into play on these sets, which was not a thing in the previous sets. And now I do appreciate the fact that it's just an easy wall panel instead of making us build up a huge amount of space. I do think sometimes that LEGO just tries to increase piece counts by doing that, so they can say, oh well, it's a more complicated build, when it's really just a simple build that could have been done with different bricks. I know I thought that a lot while assembling Daily Bugle, going, these windows would have been just as impressive if you'd done the 2x1x5s instead of all these individual 2x2x1 windows. But I'm not a designer at LEGO, but I do love what they come out with, so I don't tend to complain too much about things like that. Now we're going to set that down because we've got a little window build coming up here. Oh. And we are back to these graded windows. Kind of nice. I like those. These are great, even though I feel like they used to give you extras of these, which came in handy if you had to match something to a different set. Like Pirates of the Caribbean had a lot of those windows. Now I'm wondering why there's a window and we just blocked it, but alright. That was a choice, LEGO. But we'll get to the end of this bag here in a bit. So, shaping up to be something. This could be the top of the sink, I'm not quite sure. It looks like it's supposed to be a window, or it was a window. Let's see, oh, there's my other piece. It's hiding from me inside that panel. And we do have the sand green elements coming back, which is great, except for the fact that sand green is one of the rarer pieces that LEGO has made, rarer color pieces. And so adding that back into sets is a little problematic, because now we have a color palette change for Hogwarts within a given run of the theme, which makes me a little sad. here's how it looks from the outside. So we have these open windows, and then for some reason a fake window that looks like it's going to be behind the thing, behind the sinks. And now we just build up a little bit more of wall. A couple of these 1x1x1s. And we just put that right there. And now we do have what looks like the beginning of our toilet. Moaning Myrtle's toilet, I should say. Oh, look at me, I put a 1x4 instead of a 1x3. That's what I get for not paying attention, right? It's okay. You can just take it off and pop it right back. That's why I don't super glue Legos. It takes all the fun out of it, I think. And we put a little 1x2 right there, kind of box in our toilet. Let's see what we're doing on this part. And we've got this going on. And just a little bit like this. This looks like the back of a toilet. Yeah, that is right. Well, that's a good looking toilet, I think. You can definitely tell it's supposed to be. It's always nice when you can tell what it's supposed to be. Now we're just gonna start building up the exterior of that stall. And some more of the wall behind the toilet. And we're almost done with this first bag. Alright, now we're going to build up that stall. Let's see how Lego decided to do this, y'all. Okay. Got some hinges. It's nice. I don't know about y'all, but sometimes I miss the old door hinge pieces that used to just be on everything. Now they rely really more on these hook bricks, which is fine, it still does the job, but there was something nice about having a specific door hinge because you didn't have to do any guesswork as to how tall your door needed to be. And we stick that right there. And see, look, it's got a nice little flushability to it, pun intended. And then we just connect these two to hold that wall in place. And we put another brick there, some more there, another one there. Looks like we're adding in a small tile detail on the top. We've got another piece right there that's gonna mean it can attach to our castle system. And then we've got a nice little flat piece here, just to show that's a nice little door. And now we've got that right there. Now I feel like this is not a true British toilet because I feel like they have full doors, and this is a very Americanized toilet because see, you've got the big gap underneath. People can definitely tell who's in this toilet. And that's the end of the first bag. So we're just going to brush all of our excess bricks off to the side. And this is the second bag. So we're going to open this up. Now I'm excited about this one, because it'll be our first time getting named Slytherins outside of the Quidditch pitch, because we're getting Crabbe and Goyle. Now, I know what you're thinking, it's Harry and Ron. But we have dozens of Harrys and Rons at this point, so it's just not worth doing those. Now, these little tiles are kind of cute. Now, I don't know who these are, and I may do an identification video based on that, because I don't think there's a listing of them. Oh no, there is. There is a listing of them in the back of the instructions. So, it looks like we got Nicholas Flamel, and Helga Hufflepuff. So cool. I've already got one of the founders. That's kind of a fun thing. But let's put the rest of this together, because that's not the point of this video. So we have our nice Slytherin robes, which we've gotten many times, many times. So we're gonna put Harry together. See, we've got Harry on one side, and then Goyle on the other. And I love his hairpiece. I do love this hairpiece. It looks like my hair used to look in high school. I always found it kind of funny that wouldn't Malfoy have been tipped off by the fact that they were using different wands? They really were just planning on not having to have their wands out a little bit, but look at that. That is a good Goyle. And let's put Crabbe together, because we have a terrified Ron on one side, because that's how he lives his life. And Goyle on this side. Because, yeah. Oh, I do appreciate that we have some extra hair pieces in this set, because, you know, it's always nice to have extra hair pieces. And it's story accurate. That's a good looking Crabbe. Or no. Yeah, Crabbe. But they're cute. I love it. Now we're moving on to the build for the rest of it. Well, looks like we're building up another connecting port. It's always confusing to me why they build up a 2x1 on one side and then a 1x1 on another. But that's what LEGO likes to do. They like to switch it up on the hinges and the joints. But it's okay. We're gonna put that over there. And then, you know, we're gonna go like that, because you don't want to have your nastiness showing on the inside of your bathroom, because that's probably gonna connect to another one of these at some point. And see, it's already looking like a nice bathroom. I think the bulk of this bag is going to be building the sinks, which I'm in the mood for. You know, I was hesitant to go out and get these the other day, because I just spent all week building the Daily Bugle, and I was almost a little burned out on Lego. But I said, no, Harry Potter is really my first love of Lego. So I have to come together, I've got to rally, and really see what Lego did for this round. Because if you notice, this is a very good set so far. This is the cheapest set, which bodes well for the others. They have changed a little bit of their building style, like I don't think these were really included at all in past sets, these window panel pieces, but it looks really good. Now this is something that they kept, is these little column pieces, which I like. It adds a little more detail to the world, and it looks better than some of the arches that they want to put in. But we'll see. See, here's another arch for this side, because instead of building around an arch like that, they just built one. And now we've got it set and ready to go. And now we're gonna build some sinks. Now this is a 2x, so I like to build them in the same hand, just because I've got big hands and I would rather just go through this all at once instead of coming back and redoing the entire process for the second one. I don't know if you do it that way, but this is the way I do it. It's fun for me, and as long as Lego's fun, it should be fun for everyone, right? But we are going to build up these sinks, and we're going to see how these go. Now this is a nice faucet. It's pearl gold, and you get 3 of them in this set, which is great. And now we've got connector pieces like that. And we're getting a little closer. You can start seeing some of the detail. And these are already looking like sinks. And now we come to our first stickers. Now this sticker sheet is great because the only thing that are stickers in this whole set are the mirrors. And it just goes on a little brick like this. Now don't get too stressed out putting on your stickers, because if you stress yourself out too much, they come out bad anyway. See, we've got a mirror like that, and now we need to do another mirror. See, we're gonna just... I appreciate the fact that it's just a reflective surface instead of one of them being mirrored in it, because it could have been gimmicky. They could have put a regular Hermione on one side of the brick and a cat Hermione on the other to make it a play feature, but they didn't. That was a choice. And now I'm seeing where these are going to attach to the wall, which is nice. And now we're going to build up some of these. Gotta make 4 of those. Here's our second one. See, I find Lego very calming. Because as long as you follow the instructions, everything turns out right. Which, if life was that easy, wouldn't we all just be a little happier? So why not take a little bit of Lego? Why not take a little bit of Life Seems Right? Oh, see, I have big hands, and sometimes that happens. But it's okay, because Legos go back together just like that. And see, no harm, no foul. We just snapped that in there. And now I know to just be a little more careful with this one. See? Easy peasy. And we do some detailing on the top of each of these. Right there. See, look at those. Those look great. And now we're gonna just snap them in. See? And they just snap in like that. And they fit in the bottom of that base, and that looks really good, I think. I like that they were faithful to the designs of the movies. And now we're going to build up our last sink, which looks like it's going to be just a little different. Not too different, because it's still going to match. But after all, everyone's a little bit different, right? And we just have to celebrate those differences. So let's see what this sink makes itself different by. And we've got another golden faucet. I do wish there was a snake on this one, but that's okay. It's a little detail. And you just use your imagination and you say it's there. And then Harry talks to the snake on the faucet to make himself go through that faster. Now we've got to do our last sticker to make this mirror, and we are getting very close to the end of this setup, y'all. See, a nice happy little sticker, right? Little Bob Ross, some happy little trees. Now if you notice, there's no little, what do you call them? The jetpack pieces is what I know them as from the original, Aqua Explorer sets, Ocean Explorers, whatever they were back in the day. You remember they had the big green alien submarines. So we go like this, and we go like this. Connect those two together, and we've got that right there. Turn this to the back, and we're filling in a back piece right there. And this part gets connected to this little offshoot. And you just have to make sure that that moves right out of the way. And look at that. That is beautiful. Do you see that? The whole thing comes up, and you slide your minifigures straight down in there. Let's see how easily they go through. Do they? And they do. Not very easily. You're going to have to take their wands out of their hands to get them to go into that. But they fit. And it's a really easy mechanism to lift. There's no tricky bolts or anything like that. This is really good for small little hands, but I have big hands. So I have to be careful, otherwise I break things when it comes to Lego. But I like those. So now we're done with our stickers, and we're almost done with our build. What do you guys think so far? All right? I'm gonna take one of these, build it up, because this is gonna go across the front to make it look like this is all one big building. Yeah. And it hooks right into those arch pieces. And now, doesn't that look decorative? This is a nice way to do this. Now, I wish Lego made this piece more often, because it does make these big open spaces look a little bit more intriguing. Makes it look less like a support and more like an intentional piece of the architecture. And now we're just going to put the last bits on the top to make these fit. Now this is a different way to do things. This is very much like how the modulars connect their different floors. So I do appreciate that Lego is doing that for the smaller sets now. But I don't know how stable these connections are going to be when we get the rest of it put together. But overall, this is a really decent build. You know, it fits in the palm of my hand, but it is a full play scene. The only thing I would have liked to see is a little more to the front where you could stage the figures, because they do have quite a lot of these smaller sets where you're just supposed to put it in the front. And you're not supposed to snap people into the actual bricks. So let's give our Goyle and our crab some potions, and we'll just set them in there. See, he holds that and just bottoms up, y'all. And we can just snap this in there. I mean, thankfully, you know, you can stage them a little bit. Right? Like, that looks good. These guys look very happy in their little world. So let's look at the instructions. So we do see that the castle, and then Fluffy's room, and then this one do all come together, and it does break it out as to what's actually included in those modular pieces. And see, the nice part is that the roof of the Great Hall and all of these tower pieces does come off. I'm most excited for this Chamber of Secrets, because I wanted a Chamber of Secrets. I don't know if I'm gonna build the Great Hall or not, just depending on how that goes. I'm gonna look at the build more closely, but I have a Great Hall from this last round that I enjoy. But it does show you that if you just buy the castle pieces, you're only going to get Harry, Hermione, and Lord Voldemort in the golden figures. Now each set is sold separately, but build and swap. And we do have collect all 16 of the wizarding cards. Now I have seen other people saying that just because you buy all of the sets does not guarantee you every single one of these. So I'll keep you guys apprised of where we are with the wizarding cards. So I'll try to put those up in the corner over here with our golden figures. Well, thanks for watching. This was Disney D Prince, y'all.